Hello and welcome to this CNBC Africa special where we look at how the COVID-19 pandemic is shaping the future of air travel and airport security. We'll be taking a deep dive into the automated border control systems market. I'm Kenneth Igbomor, and my guest for today's special is Dr. Enrique Segura, is the chairman of the ENSE group and is also the president and CEO of Securiport, which is an intelligent immigration and civil aviation security solutions provider. As the COVID-19 pandemic is shaping everyday life as we know it, on this special, we'll explore how airports in Africa can better adjust to this new normal and still ensure the experience of the passengers is not diminished. You can join, let's know what you think about the conversation, and you can join in, send me a message on Twitter, that's at Kenneth Igbomor. Now, thank you so much for joining me on today's show, sir. Dr. Segura, your views, I would like to hear what your views are on the COVID-19 pandemic and how it will impact the future of air travel and airport security in the coming years.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to be today in your show. It is a pleasure to communicate with the audience of CNBC Africa. And this is a pandemic. We have to agree, and this is a pandemic that we are very hopeful and we are very optimistic that it will be temporary. Then we are extremely optimistic that the vaccination will be found very soon, and activity will come back to a normal levels that they used to be before this declared pandemic got to us, I would say, the first days of February 2020. Evidently, this pandemic has created a very big stop in the airport activity. You know, when you're talking about what is the impact in the traffic, in the airline traffic has been very affected. Not just only in Africa, also all over the world. I mean, we're talking about Latin America, we're talking about Asia, we're talking about United States, Europe, everywhere. Then this pandemic has been extremely unfair for the airline industry, for the passengers also, and for everybody that is related to the business of airport traffic. The effect of this is an increase of cost of the operators. Means what it will happen, or what are the direct impact of the pandemic is the increase of cost of the operators that are operating these airports, because during 3 months nobody has been able to operate that. Therefore, that cost will have to be in a way adopted in the balance statements of the carriers, in the balance statements of the airports authorities in every country, and that cost is one that we will see as a direct effect of the pandemic, besides the effect of being the travelers afraid to travel. This is a very important factor, the mental impact that those travelers are experimenting, in where they said, well, I will take a time, I will not travel during the time being, I will wait and see.
Okay, but for organizations like yours in this automated border control systems market, I'd like you to speak specifically on the significance of coming up with innovative solutions at a time like this to address some of these challenges that you foresee in the industry, and especially addressing the new reality COVID-19 is presenting to the world.
Well, the most important is to adapt the systems, without forgetting something that is important, that is security for the airports. The airports have to continue to operate. The airport has to continue to have a level of security, because the former risks that were present in the airline traffic at the airport level, at the passenger going through the airports still exist and will continue to exist, plus the virus, the COVID-19. But we cannot forget about that. Therefore, the adaptation, when you're talking about how we will respond, how we will adapt to this, is with more technology, especially technology that it will be adapted to track and trace the people that are coming to airports and that are able to identify in a safe way certain issues that are special to this particular airport authority without forgetting the security level that they have to continue to have to identify drug traffickers, to identify human traffickers, to identify criminals, terrorists, or money launderers. Therefore, that technology that will be added, especially for COVID-19, is a technology that it will be incorporating like a temperature measurements hardware, that it will be incorporating technology that will allow to the airport to know exactly if that person has been in contact or not with other people. Facial recognition is a very important part of the technology and is the future of the also the possibilities of track and trace effectively.
All right, now, but I understand you also recently launched a global innovation cell. I'd like you to tell us more about this initiative and what you are hoping to get out of it.
Well, in this concern that we have for airports really to be safe and for the air trafficking to come back on the and diminish the level of panicking that has been created, the possibilities of contagion coming to countries or leaving countries, and the possibility to be carriers in the airplanes or in the traffic, that has been really a real predator of revenues for many countries that are depending on the tourism, for many countries that are depending on business that cannot be done by Zoom or by any other means that requires a personal assistant at the level of technical knowledge to be delivered, to make conference, to make certain things that they are not possible to do by Zoom. That has been affected. Therefore, as a response, we invite the academia, especially we are working at Securiport with Notre Dame University, in where we are trying to develop new tools, new hardware, new software that will be able to adapt to the principle of keeping the air traveling experience safe and manageable, because we need that the passenger, even though that there are new steps that he will or she will have to encounter when arrive to the airport, for temperature measurements, for filling questionnaires, etc., we need to try to make it the less painful possible for the passenger in order to continue to travel in a way that making easier the traveling and the experience. Because if we create also many restrictions, passengers will feel very uncomfortable, and we are increasing, damaging the experience of traveling. For that reason, Securiport created this association with the academia, the association with ICAO, the association with IATA, the association with all the main players in the industry, in order to try to create a process and procedures that it will be able to the traveler to feel like he is and she is safe. That is the main and the bottom line. How we can make it the traveling experience manageable.
No doubt, the experience of passengers at airports should come top when you look at priorities, and it's vital at a time like this. But I would like to know how your organization is playing its role in the ecosystem at airports, and how and where you operate definitely, and especially around how you're collaborating, and integrating your scope with other players in the industry.
Okay, collaboration and integration that you discuss is the main point here. How we collaborate with the airports, how we collaborate with the airlines, how we collaborate with the passengers, and how we integrate this system for everybody to be sure and to be safe in order to be able to travel and to come back to have confidence on the travel, because that is the most important issue. And why we are working on that area, for example, with measures that IATA has implemented with ICAO as a recommendation to the airlines and to airport trafficking. For example, people don't know that to travel by plane is a safe traveling, because the new technology, the new planes, they are able to recirculate the air, but renew it, the air every 3 minutes. Therefore, they have the HEPA filtering, that is the high efficiency particular air system that allow the airline to produce this recirculation. Then, if we are able to, for example, create the conscience that the passengers are safe flying, and we take measures at the airport level, we can create that environment of confidence for them to travel, especially in the tourism industry. That is one of the most important, especially when we're talking about Africa. We divide the North Africa, that is very dependent of tourism. We talk about Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, etc. We're talking about the French Africa in terms of the business that going on, minerals, etc. In the English Africa, or in the we're talking about for the language, French or English, and the Central Africa, Congo, and the South Africa in terms of the business that the countries has. Therefore, that confidence we need to reestablish. What it will be the implication? What it will be this? What we discuss, collaboration of integration, collaboration on every sector, collaboration not only from the industry, not only collaboration from the point of view of the airports or the airline, but collaboration from the traveler. For example, maybe in some airport, you will need to arrive instead of 2 hours before, 3 hours before. But it is worth it in order to travel safe, in order to restore this confidence until we have a vaccination that will be able to take away the concerns away. We, all of us, expect that that vaccination will happen by the end of the year, beginning of next year.
I needed to hold that thought for a quick, Dr. Segura. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, definitely we'll continue our conversation. I've been speaking to Dr. Enrique Segura. He is the chairman of the ENSE Group, and is also the president and CEO of Securiport. Welcome back to the CNBC Africa special. If you're just joining us, we've been looking at how airport security is playing out in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. And my guest for this discussion has been Dr. Enrique Segura. He's the chairman of the ENSE Group. He's also the CEO and president of Securiport. And Dr. Segura, staying ahead of the curve is quite important and critical in an industry like yours. And I would like to understand, what it requires being able to envisage the future event. And I'd like to understand what you're doing on this front and how you're working to integrate your new technologies in this dynamic area.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We developed a system called ECS, Epidemic Control System, that provide to the governments that we are serving today in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, in all the countries. But we put a lot of emphasis also in Africa, because we truly believe that this where an explosive growth passengers will be in the medium and long term. we believe that the continent with development. And then we have an experience. We were the only company in the world that was assisting the government of Sierra Leone during the Ebola time in 2014. Then from that experience in where we were able to set up a system of track and trace with Interpol and with the World Health Organization, we brought all the knowledge that we have, bringing to the market the ECS system, epidemic control system. But what we do is a system of track and trace, means that we provide the government with the tool to identify people that could be carriers in the way of they get sick. The government knows who they are because they were really identified at the entry point or the exit point in a collaboration with the international organization, and we discussed before collaboration with other governments. That passenger that has developed COVID-19 will be able to provide information to the government who he is and with whom he has been in touch in the country that he was living, the country that he's arriving, in order to let the people that were in contact with him that he has been with COVID-19. The way of track and trace is fundamental. It's the most important element that we have against the fight with this pandemic. Because if we don't have that element, evidently we don't know who is the carrier, we don't know who has been infested. The change of infection will be extremely deadly, and it could be extremely bad.
Now let's look at Africa now, and I'd like to know what your company's experience has been like in this region, and what prospects you see for this market here.
Well, this market is a market today of 150 million passengers per year, and Africa is increasing the traffic. More airlines are doing inter-country connections. Then we are having passengers connected without the need to go to Europe and to come back to another country. This is a great achievement that we have been seeing in the last year. For the medium terms and the long term, what we see is an explosion of traffic. Why? Because Africa is a very important continent. It has most of the minerals that the world needs. Then people are increasing their standard of living. We see a lot of progress done by governments everywhere where just battling with the divide in terms of education. More people are getting educated, more people are getting incorporated to the sectors of technology. We see a very important development in the software area. We see very important development in many countries where Africa now is a continent that allow us to have an amazing perspective in terms of traveling, in terms of tourism. Therefore, the tourism industry is not well exploited yet, but it will happen. And I am sure after this COVID-19 pandemic will be under control, Africa will really take off in the way that it's supposed to.
All right, but let's understand that there's still a challenge on the continent with regards to digitalization, and when you talk about data reliability and how and identity management systems. But I'd like to know how you plan to adapt your solutions in a market like this, especially on how you plan to incorporate biometrics and big data to find solutions.
Well, one of the most important things is the governments are very aware of the issues related to criminals, elements that come and leave, and they are really willing to have their population secure, because justice is not a problem only of certain countries around the world. It's the problem of all the world, where everybody has to be concerned about the needs for countries to know who is coming and who is leaving from that particular country. Why? Because it is important for the safety of the people that live in the country, important for the safety all over the world. Then, when you talk about how do we adapt these technologies in Africa, we truly believe in capacity building. We truly believe in developing our system in partnership with the government. We believe that if we get our clients participate, our government clients, in what they need, we are not going just with a product made in some other country. No, no. We're going to satisfy the needs of that particular government. Therefore, when you're talking about digitalization, you're talking about data reliability. We work in this partnership with the government to create the conditions for the data to be reliable and for them to have the means, the way, and the possibilities of adopting, absorbing the new technologies of this era, and they adapt their knowledge to these possibilities. Therefore, the point here is an association, it's a partnership that we do with the government.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this CNBC Africa special, and a big appreciation to my guest, Dr. Enrique Segura, for the interesting insights that he has shared so far on this. Dr. Segura is the chairman of the ENSE Group and is also the president and CEO of Securiport, which is an intelligent immigration and civil aviation security solutions provider. That's it on this special, and thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.